Hello and welcome to CATSweek. I'm Annalise Poorman. At their July 10th meeting, the Monroe County Stormwater Management Board heard from Friends of Lake Monroe founder and board president Sherry Mitchell-Brucker, who asked the county's support in the nonprofit's lake conservation efforts in the form of a 3-year matching grant. She shared what they hope to accomplish in the next few years.
We appreciate the support that the Stormwater Board has given us in the past for developing the watershed management plan and for our most recent round of funding for implementation, which we have almost totally spent down the amount for cost share for that project, which is putting projects like riparian restoration and cover crops in the Monroe County or Lake Monroe watershed. This next grant is going to be a little bigger, a little longer time frame, which is what IDEM likes to see. It's going to be more competitive, we've been told, and so we're really hoping that we can have this cash match so that we can put $250,000 worth of cost share money on the ground and do more septic education and outreach. Lake Monroe Day has been a big success, and we're working this year with the state DNR to incorporate Lake Monroe Day activities with the 60th anniversary of Lake Monroe. This would help us very much in terms of making our applications stand out. We have been told in the past that one of the things that makes our application so attractive is our cash match. And besides what we're bringing to the table in terms of our actual grant money, we have all sorts of in-kind match from IU, SPIA, and other organizations. So we're really bringing a lot ultimately to the table for this match of $75,000.
Board member Tron Enright Randolph asked if the city of Bloomington had committed to funding the matching grant as well. Mitchell-Brucker said that they have been in communication with the city and she thinks it's almost guaranteed. However, she said that it hasn't been formalized yet. The board approved the support of the 319 implementation grant. Later in the meeting, MS4 coordinator Kelsey Thetonia shared the preliminary budget for the Stormwater Department for 2025. One of the subjects discussed was the creation of a new staff position for a stormwater technician.
I heard as we were going over the new stormwater management ordinance a request to create a new position to assist with inspections and implementation of the ordinance and doing some of the smaller tasks that the county has not been able to get to as much, such as following up on conditions of approval for various items and inspecting some of the permitted sites that we now require that are covered under our stormwater regulations in the county. So I have framed this as a stormwater technician position and have started the process of writing job description and plan to take a job description to PAC if you support this.
The board was in support of creating the new position. Board member Julie Thomas suggested that even though the position will need to be approved by the Personnel Administration Committee, they still include the position in the 2025 budget in expectation of its approval. The Bloomington Arts Commission met on July 10th. Assistant Director for the Arts, Holly Warren, gave a financial rundown of the city's arts and culture projects.
We have managed to get all of the funds that we allocated to our arts project grant recipients out the door. We awarded a total of $51,540 in that first art cycle. That leaves us with a total of $89,477 to spend on those 3 art cycle, or the 2 remaining art cycles for the year, and that leftover funding is still comprised of our general fund allotment for grants, the local income tax increasement allotment of grants, and some of our BUEA zone arts allotment. In addition to that $89,477 we have for our two remaining grant cycles, that's the operations grant cycle and the emerging artist grant cycle, we have some additional funds left for more public art and more like public facing events. So again, we've still got that $5,000 for emerging artist professional development workshops. And again, Christina and Chaz are working on developing those workshops to be launched in early fall. Thanks, Christina and Chaz, for doing that. And we also have $16,500 to expend on other public art projects and primarily public art grants. And Natalie, Christine, and I have been working on an initiative to launch that public art grant cycle as part of the public art subcommittee's role for the commission.
The city partnered with the Monroe County History Center and Downtown Bloomington Incorporated to host a free event titled the July Artist Party, which takes place on July 24th. Special Projects Manager Chaz Modinger elaborated on what the event entails.
And the idea, again, is to just network and celebrate artists and like bring people together. And it's going to be cool that it's going to be on the lawn. And there's a history of punk music in Bloomington exhibit at the History Center, which is why we're having it there. And that's inside. So I think there'll be like docent tours too that you can go on in the museum. And they're really trying to do a lot of cool stuff there. So I was really excited to partner with the History Center.
Then Public Art Subcommittee Chair Natalie Almanza provided an update on public art projects in the city. In particular, Almanza touched on the finalists for the public art installation in the future Hopewell neighborhood.
Because we've been interviewing the Hopewell finalists. We have 4 finalists, like we mentioned last meeting, and today we interviewed 2 of them. The interviews were great. We asked some great questions. We heard a lot about these pieces, and we're really excited to meet the other 2 and then talk and come to a decision. Our current timeline is, I think we're moving it back a little bit, but the initial one was to have someone decided by July 22nd or around then. Is that correct? But I think we got to move it a little bit due to folks traveling and just some general summer scheduling. But we are moving forward with that, and it's been great.
Next, community radio station WFHB gave a presentation to the Arts Commission. Development Director Brooke Turpin and General Manager Jar Turner thanked the Commission for helping to fund the station's local live series and its annual music festival, the WFHB Block Rocker.
Thank you, all of you, for supporting our station with grants in the past. Last year, you supported us being able to directly support local musicians through our local live remote series, where we invited local musicians to come and play at local venues and then broadcasted it live on the air, as well as having the show for people to attend. It was a fun, cool project that we're still trying to continue and find more funding for. Coming up for this year, you guys have funded our Block Rocker, which is turning into bigger. It's bigger every year. So we're trying to scale, and we really need that extra funding in order to do that. So thank you guys so much for awarding us that funding, because if what happened last year, where we doubled the amount of people that came, happens again this year.
Yeah, we had anticipated about 250 people and over 800 people.
Yeah. So it is a free all ages event, very accessible, and really focused on local musicians that are based here in Monroe County or regionally in Indiana.
The WFHB Block Rocker will take place on August 24th. Following the WFHB presentation, Arts Commission member Suzanne Ryan Melamed shared mutual appreciation for WFHB citing the station as an important community resource.
I want to say that WFHB has been, in my experience, a terrific partner and promoter of work that is done nonprofit work that is done in Bloomington. I've been directing the Bloomington Early Music Festival for a few years now, and last year, 2 years ago, I was privileged to do an interview at WFHB, which got us a lot of attention and helped people to know about the festival and come in, and just, a very belated thank you for that. And that's such an important part of your place in this arts ecosystem, I think, in Bloomington, is that you not only get support, but you give support. And I just want to say thank you for doing that.
Aww.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Suzanne.
Finally, Arts Commission Chair Gerard Pennakick highlighted upcoming events and important dates related to the arts.
Friday, we have the 4th Street Garage South Alley Prisma art installation celebration going on at 9 p.m. That day, there's also the opening reception for the Emerging Artist Grant Recipient Exhibition. And then the Artist Party on July 24th out on the History Center. Wait, 24th or 26th? 24th. Okay. 24th, Wednesday, 6 to 9 p.m. on the History Center lawn.
The Bloomington Arts Commission will meet again on August 14th. During their July 9th meeting, the Monroe County Council members tabled a de-appropriation of funds in local income tax bonds for the new county jail. Along with noting recent countywide issues and duress, council members spoke to the contentious jail site decision and continuing disagreements with the county commissioners. Council President Trent Deckard explained that the resolution is the result of discussions the council had had about 4 weeks ago. Deckard then suggested that they table the resolution indefinitely, saying that in those 4 weeks, they've struggled with a storm and a cyber attack and have not had time to properly contemplate the resolution.
In the last 2 weeks, the county has been under incredible duress, and that is probably not a strong enough word to say what this community has been through, and I am hopeful against hope that we have no more duress for today, tomorrow, and on. But with that, I would like to note, just for the public watching, the leadership of this council works together, sets agendas, tries to react to members' things. We have been unable to do that considerably, among other things. Literally, the agenda that we had tonight came together from some crayons and paper until we got things back in working order. And naturally, our agenda is not the focus. The service to the people of this community is, and all the form it takes. So we're glad this county's up and running and what have you. So with that in mind, given the scope and size of the motion before us, I am going to ask unanimous consent from the council that this motion be tabled indefinitely.
Councilmember Kate Wiltz commented on the decision to table the resolution.
We know that this is the result of me proposing that we do this sort of thing in an effort to become more informed about the details around property purchasing and what's going on in advance of and in consideration of any properties we might purchase for the jail. I really appreciate you tabling it, because without having very good access to the technical infrastructure for the past week in the county, and that's an understatement. We just don't have all of the information. A lot of this money was part, if not all of it, was part of a bond anticipatory note. That has been paid off. I have a lot of questions about what that means for this money and the appropriation of it. I believe it's still all appropriated, but we no longer have it out in someone else's hands. That makes me feel more confident, perhaps, about de-appropriating. But I certainly don't want to mess up, county business. I'm not trying to stonewall. I'm trying to better understand. And so thank you for letting me say that, and thank you for the opportunity to just table it until we have more information.
Councilmember Marty Hawk also spoke on the resolution.
I was not at the meeting during that time that this was put on the floor before, but what I could say at this point, and following up on what Councilmember Wiltz said, continues to be what we are told is no firm decision has been made on a location. And to that end, I think that we should leave all options open to whatever location works best for the county and works best for the taxpayer. And so I hope that we don't, any of us, feel like we are locked into one place or the other. And of course, you know, one of the reasons I would be saying this is that I said for a long time, I do not support what appears to be the preferred location of the county commissioners at present.
Councilmember Jeff McKim weighed in, highlighting the council's role in the process of choosing a jail site.
I certainly agree with Councilor Hawk that all property should still be on the table at this point. I don't think that we've really come to the point where we have the perfect location. We may never. But I just wanted to ask Ms. Turner King just to clarify something. We already, I think, know the answer to this, but just to say it on the record, am I correct that the county council, regardless of source of funds and appropriation, the county council still has to approve the purchase of any real property over $1,000 or something like that?
Correct.
Okay.
And if you want me to, I can go ahead and find the IC code, but statutorily, that's correct.
Okay, you can email it out, but you probably already have. I just wanted to make sure we're all level set, that we still do get a vote regardless of whether the money has already been appropriated or not.
The next Monroe County Council meeting is Tuesday, July 23rd. On July 10th, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners discussed a contract with Proactive MD for clinic services. County Personnel Administrator Elizabeth Sensenstein presented information regarding the monthly and yearly cost.
This is, for the first 2 years, it's going to be fixed at that amount. And so that would be a total of $663,600 per year for the first 2 years. And then there's a slight increase in the third year based on anticipated economic factors. And I didn't bring that number with me. But then also there are pass-through expenses, which are going to vary, but I'm going to estimate those at about $1,102,896 for the 3 years of the contract.
Sensenstein then proceeded to talk about which services will stay the same, which services will change, and new and improved services detailed within the contract.
So the contract is outlining we're going to have a provider, a nurse practitioner. We're also going to be adding on a patient advocate, which is going to be a support person for employees to connect them to make sure they're doing their preventative things. But then if they're being referred outside of the clinic, they're going to work through that patient advocate to make sure they're not falling through the cracks in any way. We're going to focus on preventative care, providing the same types of things that we've been doing. We're going to expand on our wellness, trying to make sure that we're providing some additional wellness activities for employees to make sure they're engaged with wellness as a preventative type of care as well. Just trying to think other things that the contract would outline. Doing similar things, blood work and providing the medications to employees at no cost. It's going to mimic a lot of what we've been doing. Just the changes that employees will see is the type of practitioner that's in the clinic.
Mm-hmm. Commissioners Administrator Angela Purdy and Commissioners President Julie Thomas then asked for clarification from Sensenstein.
All the services will be the same, with the exception it's a different provider, and then we're hoping to enhance our wellness programs, kind of bring that back because we had one.
Yeah.
We kind of disappeared, and so we're hoping to bring that back.
Right, with some improved communications and
Yes, that's what I was just going to say
technology.
next. Definitely the technology is above and beyond what we currently are experiencing. So the website, the app, and even just communications when people are calling in are going to be much better.
Sensenstein concluded by commenting on improvements that will be made in regards to communications, saying that, quote, the technology is above and beyond what we're currently experiencing. The website, the app, and even just communications when people are calling in are going to be much better, end quote. The commissioners approved the contract unanimously. Later, Fleet and Building Manager Richard Kreider made some requests regarding improvements to the convention center. He began by discussing a proposal submission by HFI.
This request is to approve the proposal submitted by HFI in the amount of $39,750 to furnish and install a new electric boiler to heat the Monroe County Convention Center. The scope of work includes draining the heat system as needed, removal and disposal of existing boiler, furnishing and installation of a new electric boiler with necessary hardware and materials, system fill and leak check, start and verify operation.
The motion was approved unanimously. Next, he brought forth a proposal submitted for the convention center by King Contracting, LLC.
This request is to accept the proposal submitted by King Contracting, LLC in the amount of $15,859 to provide brick tuck point repair services at the Monroe County Convention Center.
The commissioners also approved this request unanimously. On July 8th, the Ellettsville Town Council tabled the second reading of an ordinance that would establish a redevelopment commission. The council agreed to table the ordinance since only 3 out of the 5 council members were present at the meeting. Town Attorney Darla Brown asked for clarification on the amendment to the policy. Council member William Ellis responded.
What the town council had asked me to do was to add some language to the ordinance setting forth the composition of the board. So I went back and looked at the video on CATS where the town council discussed the nuts and bolts of the composition. Am I on the right track? And if I'm not, what can I do to change it before the next meeting? Or is it really and truly just you want the opinion of all 5 board members?
Well, for me, the only thing I'm not seeing in this is that I see it, number 2. 2 shall be appointed by the town council from the town council membership, neither of whom shall be the town council president. I'm good.
Yeah, okay. I think that's good, Darla.
Okay.
Because I saw yours on the listserv, they can't be on planning or BZA. That's 100%.
That was my contention. I did put a question out on the listserv and got several responses.
Some conflicting, I saw.
Yeah, actually, I received 7 responses from attorneys, town managers, a couple of mayors, and the general consensus was that it was a good idea to have at least one town council member on the redevelopment commission because, as one person put it, it creates a bridge between the redevelopment commission and the town council. And in particular, since the redevelopment commission cannot issue bonds without the council's approval, then having a council member on the redevelopment commission who can discuss that, everyone thought was pretty helpful. It's my opinion that you should not have a BZA member on the redevelopment commission because I think the statute's pretty clear. The composition of the plan commission, I think, makes it a little less clear as to whether or not you can have a plan commission member on there, but I think for sure you probably should not have a BZA member on the board.
Council President Scott Oldham asked about an appointment to the Redevelopment Commission, which requires approval from the Richland Bean Blossom School Board. Brown outlined the rules around the appointment.
Darla, I do have one question where it talks about Town Council President shall also appoint an individual to serve as a non-voting advisor of the Ellettsville Redevelopment Commission who is a member of the school board of a school corporation. So it has to be somebody from the board, not a representative of?
That's exactly the way the statute reads. So it has to be a member of the school board or of the school corporation or an individual recommended by the school board.
Okay,
so
we can go that way. So the next question, understanding that we serve 2 townships with the school corporation, does this person have to live within Ellettsville?
I'll have to check on that, but since they're a non-voting member, I don't know. Certainly the other board members do.
Okay.
So with that, does that kind of answer the question, since they have to be a member of the school board or nominated by, it, then charter schools could not?
I think a charter school can, because I think a charter school is the same as a school corporation. Voucher schools, no.
Right.
So we would have to then have essentially one from RBB, the other from,
It's just one individual.
Right.
So it's not
a
one from
six-member.
each?
No,
No.
it's a six-member
Okay.
board.
all
But
right.
we can consider Seven Oaks people, which,
Well, I just didn't know if each school corporation
Yeah.
got a
No,
non-voting
that's not
member.
how I interpret it. It's just
Okay,
one member who's non-voting.
all right.
The council will revisit the second reading of the ordinance to establish a redevelopment commission at their next meeting. Later, the council discussed whether or not to allow the use of the town hall for the Republican Party caucus on July 25th. Councilmember William Ellis introduced the agenda item.
our chairman has resigned, and we're having a caucus to replace the chair on July 25th, and we'd like to use the town hall.
Brown noted that if there's a Democratic Party caucus, they would also be permitted to use the town hall. The council voted unanimously to approve the initiative. Next, council members heard a memorandum of understanding between the town of Ellettsville and the Bloomington Economic Development Corporation. Town manager Mike Farmer walked through the MOU.
I recommended to the board that we provide an additional $10,000. I originally thought we'd go to the lit ED for the money, but I'm talking to the clerk, and we may go through the general fund.
I thought we were gonna go through the lit ED. What I was going to do is do an additional appropriation on the next meeting after this was approved, and move the subscription and dues where we currently take our annual fee for the BEDC and move it also to the lit ED fund, so that they're both stay together. So the total for the yearly subscription fee that we pay for the BEDC and the additional $10,000 would be $15,750 for the year.
The council voted 3-0 to support the MOU. And that is all for Cats Week. Thank you for joining us. For Cats and WFHB, I'm Annalise Poorman.